Hello, welcome to my library. Today I'm going to speak on the topic of the fort culture of Donegal Township. Not much is known at present of this lost way of life that flourished in a small forest located in present-day West Donegal Township. In hopes of sparking some interest, or perhaps only bringing a faint smile to the lips of those who might remember, I will set out here the broad outlines of the so-called fort culture, as it has been investigated by archaeologists and historians of the last century. It is believed by those who have studied the records of nearby more advanced civilizations that the fort culture began with a camp-out for the boys, using equipment salvaged from the Great War. This exciting event overstimulated the boys and inaugurated the early pre-classic phase of the fort culture. Sadly, not much is known of these early days, which are said to have ended with the coming of Major Jansson, who put all the boys to work. The middle pre-classic phase was thus a time of hidden escapes into the woods, as the watchful eyes and swift hands of Major Jansson kept youthful passions in check. There was little time, sadly, to build any permanent structures. Suddenly, a new phase dawned upon this downtrodden people. The late pre-classic burst upon the scene with the decree of Tyree Moore that a great space should be cleared for the boys to run free. Archaeologists have discovered tree writings from this phase, but the records of such are sadly now forever lost to us. The woodland trails, it is believed, took their form during this time, and special spots in the forest were noted and began to be occupied. What sparked the rise of the early classic phase? Historians believe that it was in fact new stylings of music from the faraway land of Ingilonde, and by a new religious cult centered on a goddess called Mary Jane. Whatever it was, the golden age of fort culture had begun. Stories and legends abound during this time. Emil's Fort, Chris's Fort, Sliding Board Rock, the Couch Chair. All of these and more flourished. New technologies helped as well. Plastic bags to keep out rain, sawhorses to support walls, carpet for the floors, and candles to illuminate the darkness. It was a wondrous time, to be sure, culminating with the building of the house, which achieved status as the greatest of all the forts. But the very greatness of the house proved its downfall. It was a sad day indeed when the younger boys were taken back into the forest to see the house before it was demolished. Thus ended the early classic phase. The late classic fort culture was centered on the edges of the forest close to the playground. Tom's Fort is the best documented structure from this time. Seized as it was by a rogue band of the younger boys, this fort was occupied continuously and extensively embellished until the Great Forbidding. Many happy days were spent here at this ideal spot perched just above the playground. Archaeologists marvel at the skill and creativity of those simple folk. The death blow to the fort culture was struck by the one known as Sarshen the Wicked. May her name be forever cursed. A boy had run away and amazingly started a fire up in a tree to fry bologna. This caused an incident which put Sarshen, may her name be forever cursed, on the spot with other civilizations. She acted swiftly and brutally, forbidding any to enter the woods again upon pain of the severest penalties. A sad time this was indeed, for it broke the spirit of the fort culture. With the sudden epic fall of Sarshen, may her name be forever cursed, one lone boy ventured back into the woods and tried to reclaim the forts. During this, the terminal classic phase, he managed to rebuild 2 forts, But alas, the peoples did not return. Pong, girls, and the lure of the town had brought an end to this once thriving culture.